Okay, everybody, welcome aboard. We have joined right on time for the start of Group 3C in the Best of 128 promotion stage here in Racing Masters Hyundai and Cup Championship. I'm Miyogi. I am going to be your host for tonight for the English shoutcasting. If you haven't heard of me on the previous tournament session which was held yesterday, please do check back on my video channel history for the details of the ones who have done groups 1A to 1D all the way up until group 3B. But for now, we're going to be focusing on session 3C following the performances of the following players. We have TBCS, Thanks Masboem, BT Nukdekda, and Alpaca. So just like to let you guys know again, if this is your first time in the channel, please do leave a subscription. Please do subscribe, as we'll be covering all knockout, promotion stage, and grand finals here in Racing Master. Now, the first round here in sports class is going to be held at Nürburgring Spiegel Curve with TBCS and BT Nukdekda in the Mazda RX-7, Alpaca will be joining in the Mazda RX-7, and Masbohem has yet to decide on what car they would be going. It will also be the Mazda RX-7. Seems to me like the other day there were a lot of Ferrari 250 GTOs, but now everyone is going with their comfort pick. And based on the performance of the FD RX-7, the RX-7 would be the best choice for this session. Now, encourage all viewers who are watching over on YouTube to please do leave a message here on the live chat so that I would know that you are tuning in, and do share the video to the rest of your fellow Racing Master players and clubmates. And the race has just begun. Alpaca would be our main camera focus for this race, and everybody is already going through the wide corner. Alpaca is the only one who kept his wheels on the road and is holding on to the lead much comfortably, but Masbohem has accelerated even better compared to Alpaca and is now in first place. Everyone seems to be neck to neck with each other. However, Nukdekda has unfortunately probably made a wall collision and has dropped down to 4th place with a 2.8 second gap. But now Alpaca, Masbohem, and TBCS are fighting for the lead, with Masbohem with a really good corner exit. But on the second half of that corner chicane, Alpaca was able to exit much faster and now has retaken the lead. Now going up into the uphill section, Alpaca is still holding strong. Masbohem, however, is still fighting back. TBCS is just right behind the two and going through the slipstream, and TBCS is now barely hanging on to the lead. It's between him and Alpaca going into the final corner of Spiegel Curve before the long straightaway. Who's going to be the one with a better corner exit? And it was a smooth exit from everybody, but Masbohem unfortunately takes the lead, followed by TBCS and Alpaca falling up behind. But this may probably be the strategy of Alpaca, gunning for the slipstream to be able to pass both of them. Ready on the final section, just a few hundred meters away. Alpaca's already overtaken. Alpaca takes first place, and there goes the first round. Alpaca utilizing the long straight with the slipstream, guaranteeing himself the first place win, followed by TBCS, then thanks Masbohem, and BT Nukdekda in 4th place with more than a second of a gap between everyone else. So everyone's already starting strong on this first heat in the second set of the 128 promotion stage. Right, let me just double check on the live chat while the session is already jumping into sports class. Normal Lastra mentioned Spiegel Curve being the position decider for the rest of the match seems fair given the long straight, and I have to agree. Now, Indianapolis Mini would be the arena for the second race for sports class, and Nukdekda, TBCS are both going for the Koenigsegg CCX, Masbohem as well for the CCX. And we're just waiting for Alpaca's decision. Who's going to be the odd one out in the Lamborghini Murcielago LP674 Super Veloce? But Nukdekda has noticed the change and decides to capitalize on the same strategy as Alpaca, also going for the Super Veloce. And Dearest Me has joined the live chat and mentioned they have a lot of 250 GTOs that buff was huge enough to make the safe and best pick in some scenarios. But not enough already for standard class. We're already joining in on sports class. Nukdekda is our camera focused. Hopefully he gets to redeem himself. There are only 4 races in the promotion stage, so every win matters. Nukdekda going in strong in first place, followed by Alpaca in second with the Lamborghini Murcielago as well. TBCS not falling too far off behind, along with Masbohem on 3rd and 4th, chasing the slipstream of the two fighting bulls. Into the first corner of the technical section, and TBCS is falling down behind. Unfortunately, collides with the wall and is now dropped further in 4th place. Alpaca and Nukdekda fight against Masbohem. CCX versus Lamborghini Murcielago. It's anybody's game here on the technical section. The CCS may probably be the better pick here, but once we get to the wide long straight, it's all going to be the Lamborghini. Now into the second long straight into Indianapolis Mini. Alpaca again capitalizing on slipstream. Masbohem gets past. Nukdekda and Alpaca are going to the last few sections before they fight again in the long straightway. And Nukdekda and Alpaca, it is still equal. Alpaca with a bit of a wide corner angle there. And now Alpaca is going to be using the same strategy as he did earlier at the start. The slipstream is already kicking in. Across the line for lap 2, and it is close between Nukdekda and Alpaca. Masbohem in the CCX is falling behind, but what we can see here is TBCS is chasing after the slipstream with a higher top speed than the other three and is slowly closing the gap despite the wall collision earlier. Alpaca now going into the first corner alongside with Nukdekta and Masboem, and smoothly but surely Alpaca does the better Murcielago run than Nukdekta, but Nukdekta is not gonna let it happen, while Masboem watches as the two Fighting Bulls fight behind him and casually takes the lead. Alpaca going into the third, but suddenly TBCS overtakes into third place, but suddenly the other half of that section, Alpaca needs to capitalize with the corner exit of the acceleration of the Lamborghini, and he does so. The gap already widening back to a second, but Nukdekta is still holding on to second place, followed by Masboem. Now these are the last two corners that need to matter the most, and TBCS with a dive bomb, but unfortunately does not do so. Alpaca with a bit of a wall hit, unfortunately does not take the lead there. And the two CCXs are going in. Masboem doing something that Nia Sleep has done in the JP event, going into the grass to ensure that no one goes into his slipstream. And that is it for the second race, and a bit of a barrel roll there from Alpaca. The winner is Masboem, now up to 14 points, Nukdekta in 11, TBCS in 12, and Alpaca dropping to second place with 13 points. So suddenly, the balance has shifted with a full 180 degrees. Now Nukdekta in the lead, followed by Alpaca. TBCS and Masboem are still fighting strong. Everybody is really gunning to get to the next best 64. Right, double checking here in the live chat. So it is a close race first for the CCX, showing its strength, and I have to agree, the more of a gap that you build in the technical section, the less of a hassle it will be against the Fighting Bull. But now we are in Sicily, Mediterranean charm. Nukdekta and Alpaca are going at it together with the Koenigsegg Jesko attack. Masboem joining in with the Jesko attack as well. TBCS again with this Jesko. It's gonna be a one-make race once more here in the new variation of the Sicily map. Again, just like to let you know that this is the Racing Master Best 128 second set, starting with Group 3C. Camera focus will be on TBCS, and the race is now officially going to start with 3, 2, and 1, and they are off. TBCS with a poor start compared to their other three. Alpaca now leading, but TBCS is capitalizing in the second half of the chicane and is still gunning for third place against Masboem. Alpaca now in the lead, followed by Nukdekta. Everyone does the chicane very well. But however, the other three are doing a much better job than TBCS here. Let us switch cameras over to Alpaca, who seems to be the crowd favorite for the night. Already gaining the lead against Masboem with almost a second of a lead from the last placer. But going in through the first hairpin, and we can see that Alpaca with a bit of a unstable exit there, but manages to hold on to his lead. Masboem just right behind with 0.07 seconds of a gap, consistent. A bit of a higher angle there, but they're all safe. No one has collided with the wall so far, but Masboem was able to get a better corner exit. It's now in first place. Alpaca now in second, TBCS on third. A miscalculation there from Alpaca, now overtaken by Masboem and TBCS. The table has once again shifted. If TBCS and Masboem takes first and second respectively, we may be seeing a four-way tie in the standings, with the last race being their only tiebreaker. Only two more corners before the final long straight, and Masboem and TBCS are standing strong. Alpaca on third place, Nukdekta falling behind on fourth place. Alpaca with a bit of a wall tap. Nukdekta overtakes TBCS in second. Masboem is cruising along on the lead and across the line. The balance is shifting from first, second, followed by third, fourth, down to third, fourth, first, and second. Final standings for the third round is Masboem in 23 points, TBCS in 19. Nukdekta and Alpaca got kicked out of their qualifying positions to fourth and third respectively. They need to capitalize on the off-road so that Nukdekta and or Alpaca could advance. However, with the big gap from Masboem, Masboem may be guaranteed the qualifying into the next heat. Just like to remind everyone here that the Hyundai and Battle Pass is also now live, so you have to complete missions to unlock champion car-themed outfits, the Hyundai and collaboration decal, and the classic Hyundai Pony. The 70s Hyundai Pony was Hyundai's first independently developed model and played an important role in the brand's major journey onto the global stage, offering both an engaging in-game experience and collectible value. You can also earn event prediction coins by participating in the event. Use them in the exchange shop to redeem limited draw tickets, vehicle kits, and other rewards. I encourage you all to enter the game, make progress with the Battle Pass, claim your rewards, and use the prediction coins to redeem even more rewards. Especially the fact that today, moving forward for the rest of the 1.5-month season, is the MF Ghost collaboration. Now we are now on to the off-road, the make or break moment of Persian Gulf Canyon stream. Almost everybody is in the F-150 Raptor. Masboem has yet to make his decision. Would he be joining the F-150s or will he be going with the 911 Rally? And looks like everyone is gonna be in the Ford F-150 Raptor, mostly known for its supreme hill climb capability. And now the loading is about to begin, and we are gonna be thrown into the map itself in just a few seconds. And to our viewers watching, just like to let you know that this is Group 3C happening right now of the best of 128 heat here in Racing Masters Hyundai NCAP Championship. Don't forget to leave a subscribe if you want to see when the next heat is going to be happening. 3, 2, 1, TBCS is our camera focus, and off they go. Masboem and TBCS seems to be tied in on the lead, and now they're going to be going through the flat section of this map. A little bit of some imbalance there from TBCS. Masboem and Nukdekta overtake Alpaca now in third. Everyone with a bit of some understeer onto the dirt section. Everyone with a high... Pardon. Okay, so the gap is already increasing from TBCS and Masboem. Maybe if TBCS does not capitalize on the second lap, this may be it for him. Right now, the strongest contender is Thanks Masboem, followed by Nukdekta. A little bit of a gap between Nukdekta and Alpaca. Alpaca now overtakes it to second place, but Nukdekta suddenly, probably a disconnection or a misinput on his driving, and now dropped to fourth place. TBCS now in third, Alpaca in second, Masboem on the lead. A very minor lead against all the other F-150s. Alpaca nearly hitting the outer canyon there, but now already recovers the lead, uses the tail of the long F-150 Raptor to clear the checkpoint, and now they enter to lap 2. Alpaca now securing and wants to ensure he qualifies by winning this race, knowing that Nukdekta is already far behind securing fourth. He just needs to be ahead of Masboem to ensure he qualifies alongside Masboem. But TBCS unfortunately for Alpaca, too much of a drift angle and has lost all his momentum, dropping down to fourth place. This must probably be it for Alpaca. TBCS and Masboem are now perfectly safe in first and second respectively, but TBCS also suffering the same fate as that of Alpaca. The gap is slowly widening, but Nukdekta probably has incurred another connection error and has now dropped down to fourth place. Alpaca with 3 seconds of a gap behind, but it is not enough to chase after TBCS. TBCS and Masboem are already heading to the hill climb, almost concluding this off-road race. Masboem just needs to be second minimum to be able to qualify. TBCS is gunning in for that one final overtake. He also needs a chance to qualify into the next heat. It's gonna be tight between TBCS and Masboem. Almost a little bit of a wide corner right there. TBCS takes it a little far off, and unfortunately Masboem protects his lead. There goes the end of Group 3C with the final standings. Masboem in first, TBC in second, Alpaca in third, and Nukdekta in last place. Now let's just leave out of the room so that we can see the final standings of Group 3C. There we go. Thanks Masboem has qualified with 32 points, TBCS with 26. Alpaca and Nukdekta have been eliminated. Now let us go over to the next race. Unfortunately, the next race has already begun between Bolgod RM SF Elucia and 969 Roy. We have a forfeiting combatant, unfortunately, here in Group 3D. And that combatant is... Get out, the UI, get out. There we go. Group 3D. Looks like Isisteru is not participating tonight. Else, they're gonna be late. But if he has already forfeited the match, that is it for his journey. Leaving whoever advances between Bull God RM, Elucia, and 969 Roy. This would be a good time for us to take a bit of a water break while waiting for this heat to finish, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, we are back and apparently the first heat is still not done for Group 3D with participants Bull God XRM, SF Elucia, and 969 Roy. Unfortunately, it will also mean that we can only preview the results probably after all sessions are done for Group 3D's Race 1. So we're still waiting here on the results. We're double checking here on the points. No action yet. Okay, but looks like we may probably be finished. I just got kicked back into the live. So just one last peek. Races are out. It was at Sicily Circuit. No wonder it was taking long. Elucia takes the lead, followed by Bull God RM and 969 Roy in third. So Elucia seems to be the top contender for the first race, but it's too early for us to decide just yet. We'll just have to wait on their progression in the sports class category. So they're giving consideration for Aisisteru if they're going to be joining in, but unfortunately, it may probably not be the case. So we're just waiting for the go signal from the referees before they can now begin. Ilusha is all good. Roy is all good. They're waiting for Bull God RM to give a confirmation before they officially begin the next heat. And while waiting for that session to happen, just like to remind everyone that the Hyundai N Battle Pass is now live. Complete missions to unlock the champion car-themed outfits, Hyundai N collaboration decals, and the classic Hyundai Pony. The Hyundai Pony 1975 was Hyundai's first independently developed model and played an important role in getting the brand's journey onto the global stage. So I encourage everyone to enter the game, make progress in the Battle Pass, and claim rewards, which you can also use during the MF Ghost collaboration gachas. And now we are in Shanghai International Circuit. Finally, we are not seeing another Koenigsegg for once, as everybody is going for the Ferrari Roma. Bull God RM, 969 Roy, and SF Ilusha are all gonna be using, looks like they'll be using Pool B. Finally, not another Pool A race. Pool B is gonna be different because there won't be any cars with passives or prime passives. On Pool B, the Roma is the highest rated vehicle for sports class in this pool. Now SF Ilusha is our camera focus and is now gunning for the lead right off the bat. This, by the way, is the buffed version of the Ferrari Roma compared to what we have in the JP version, which got released earlier before the Ferrari California. Whereas in SEA, the roles were inversed. The California coming in first, the Roma coming in second. Here in the Shanghai half loop, and SF Ilusha letting that rear end just slide all over and making sure that he keeps the lead and his pace consistent throughout the long roundabout S-curve right there, and SF Ilusha is building gap. The difference is already increasing between him and Bolgad RM, with 969 Roy losing a lot of momentum there, but Bolgad RM is closing in on the slipstream through the sand pits into the first corner, and SF Ilusha still maintains his lead. This may be SF Ilusha's break, but Bolgad RM is just right behind, and apparently is gonna make sure that Ilusha does not get a second win in a row. Finally overtakes SF Ilusha. Bolgad RM now in the lead. SF Ilusha going for an out-and-out attack, but probably too high of a drift angle in there. Bolgad RM goes too close on the inner lane, understeers to the outside. SF Ilusha capitalizes on that one and now has just to hold its lead before the crossing finish and across the line. SF Ilusha's second place finish for the night. First place finish, I mean. So there's the standings. SF Ilusha with 18 points. Bolgad RM guaranteed for second place, followed by 969 Roy with just 10 points for third. To JS at 8920, not gonna lie, JP server player exciting about Roma so much because they buff Roma, same stats like SEA server, because Roma JP server is mid-car. Apparently, what we have discovered is that JP Roma probably had their stats inverse with the California, even if the physics are still the same for both vehicles. Now we're gonna be heading into the extreme class. We're waiting on confirmation from all players, and they're joining in here in Barcelona, Sardana. One of the Season 0 maps that comes in with the game at launch, and Bolgad RM is joining in with the Aston Martin Valhalla concept. SF Ilusha joins in with the Mercedes CLK GTR Strassen version Supersport. 969 Roy would also be joining with the Valhalla. Will SF Ilusha secure his win with a grip Supreme car, or will the Valhalla show that they were the grip car first before the CLK? Bolgad RM is our camera focus tonight, and we're just waiting for the countdown to begin officially. And there's the camera tap. 3, 2, and 1, and they are off. Bolgad RM with a massive lead. SF Ilusha now accelerating to make sure that they overtake us early. A bit of a drift angle there from Bolgad RM. SF Ilusha, we'll just have to see what's going on. Okay, SF Ilusha is definitely going for the grip route. The Mercedes CLK Strassen version is guaranteed 100% grip car, even if people still decide to drift it. But when it comes to grip driving, the CLK is one of the more supreme vehicles right out there. With a bit of a wall tap from SF Illusion, but it did not deter his racing pace and is still right behind Bolgad RM. 969 Roy, however, may be showing that he is not too familiar with the Valhalla and is falling behind in third. SF Illusion with a bit of a late trail braking there, leaving Bolgad RM to the lead, and now is right back in second place against Bolgad RM's Valhalla as everyone crosses the line into lap 2. A little bit of a wall tap from SF Illusion right there. He may not be, or she may not be, too familiar with the grip run of how dominant an ECU5 CLK is. Both vehicles have wall tap. 969 Roy closes us in from behind. Bolgad RM building gap even higher. SF Illusion needs to do something on the last two corners if they want to secure another first place finish. A little bit of a deceleration right there into the long straight of Sardana, with the roundabout the last step between them and the finish line. Bolgad RM with a bit of a green drift right there. It's not enough for SF Illusion to capitalize. Bolgad RM gets first, SF Illusion second, and 969 Roy in third place. On total points, Bolgad RM is at 23 points, SF Illusion is at 25, 969 Roy is at 15 points respectively. Will 969 Roy be able to capitalize in the off-road race? We'll just have to wait and see. And now they're immediately jumping into the off-road race here at Persian Gulf Town Rally. 969 Roy in the Jeep Wrangler, Bolgad RM also in the Jeep Wrangler, Illusia as well in the Jeep Wrangler. Everyone is gonna be using the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon here in their final round for Group 3 before we all head out into Group 4. SF Illusion will be our camera focus for this race, and we're just gonna have to wait for the countdown to officially begin. We've seen the mishaps from yesterday's session. Hopefully no one crashes into some Habibi's house. Right. Into the first segment, Bolgad RM with the lead, SF Illusion in second place right there. Going into the first hard corner, no one has to do hard drift angles to survive here. Bolgad RM secures with a bit of a high drift angle, goes around the house alongside SF Illusion. 969 Roy falling really far behind on third place. A bit of an extra jump from Bolgad RM, that's going to cost him a lot of speed. SF Illusion uses the lower descent to gain even more speed on the downhill and is now in first place. The gap already from 0.5 seconds getting even smaller apparently as Bolgad RM takes a better line through those hilly sand dunes. But now they're already in the long straight. They don't have to go much of an angle here. They just have to casually turn to the left into the final goal. SF Illusion knows this well. 969 Roy overtakes Bolgad RM all of a sudden. That was a sudden upset for second and third place. Meanwhile, our camera is focused on SF Illusion. And the final standings, SF Illusion and Bolgad RM advances to the next heat. 969 Roy, wonderful run there. Although the points did not make the cut, you have done a formidable job against these two titans. But we're going to be moving on right now to Group 4. So for the fourth group, apparently the race has already begun with SS Marin, SF Nemo. This is a name that I'm not too familiar with. Unfortunately, I can't describe this. And the last player being KG Spectre 3. So, for another time, let us go for another water break while we wait for this first heat to finish. But we can also use this opportunity to actually look on the replay of the previous race. If it is even possible. No, it's not possible. So we're gonna go for another water break here. So we'll be right back. And we are back, guys. Apparently the race is not over yet, but I'm gonna take this moment to double check on live chat here on their reactions. Vix1311 made a comment saying this is the only group without using Koenigsegg's. I actually double checked on Group 4A, and they may also be going for Pool B. So we'll see no Koenigsegg's, but we may see more Ferraris and other non-prime legendaries or master vehicles. Another comment here, a Hyundai Cup final date as mentioned by Faisal Hussein 8036. To note on that one, Racing Master is teaming up with Hyundai N for the first time to launch the regional competition Hyundai NX Racing Master Cup. The top 8 players from all 4 regions will gather in Seoul on September 19th to compete for the championship, along with substantial cash prizes and an exclusive in-game title. Tune in to the online Grand Final livestream to share the Million Diamond giveaway and claim random in-game redemption codes. We encourage viewers to guess who will represent the region in Seoul, so tune into the Grand Final livestream, which will be happening on the weekend of September 6. But tune into the Grand Final livestream as well to claim rewards and to cheer for your regional players. And with regards to what's going to happen on September 19 for the Cross Regionals, it is also going to happen alongside the game esports for September 18 to 20th happening at Seoul, Korea. Alright, looks like everyone is now ready to go into the second heat. They're just waiting for SS Marin, but we'll see the results first of what happened in 4A's heat. The Korean one is leading in first, followed by KG Spectre, SF Nemo, then SS Marin. The race happened at Shanghai Urban Garden. So we're just waiting for... You know what? Wait, let me just get this moment to translate. That way, I'll be able to know how to pronounce their names in. Okay, in Korean, their name is mentioned to be Karina Espa. So Karina Espa is our Korean contender currently in the lead. Mexico Urban Circuit is our next race. SF Nemo and SS Marin are going to be in the Ferrari, California, waiting on KG Spectre and Karina's pick. And they're all going to be in the Ferrari, California. So I'm going to be mentioning the Korean name as Karina for this moment forward. Mexico Urban Circuit is a speed race with a bit of a technical section on Section 2. But that should not deter the capacity of the Ferrari California, which is actually a more speed-oriented sports class car as opposed to the more technical, grip-oriented Ferrari Roma. So we're now starting on the race. Our camera focus would be SS Marin. And now they're going into the uphill section, into the left side, the cliff side of Guanajuato. And SS Marin with a bit of a high drift angle there, losing some momentum against KG Spectre and SF Nemo. Karina seems to be holding on the lead perfectly well. SF Nemo and KG Spectre 3 are exchanging positions for second and third place respectively. KG Spectre 3 is chasing after Karina, going for that first place lead. But at the same time, they're making sure that they don't collide much. Karina nearly colliding with the inner wall there in that first S-curve, but they managed to do so without any wall tapping. KG Spectre 3 following Karina's line to the period. So here's hoping that no one actually makes a collision, but SS Marin may be falling behind even further if he plans to take it too safe moving forward. SF Nemo and KG Spectre 3's gap is already widening, so KG Spectre 3's camera focus is now going to be solely on Karina, mimicking his racing line or trying to gain or capture that slipstream before they go back into the Mexico soccer field. KG Spectre 3 already in the slipstream, slowly gaining against Karina's California. The car already reaching 280 kilometers per hour on slipstream. They drift together. They should not take it too wide, as there is no roundabout, unlike Celebration Moment, which is the other variation of this circuit map. With just one lap for... Is this actually... Is this actually just one lap? Normally, I thought this was a 2-lap race. But anyway, Karina finishes first, followed by KG Spectre 3 in first and second place respectively. SF Nemo on third. SS Marin in fourth place. No changes in the grid whatsoever on the current standings. So everyone seems to be ready to jump in for Extreme Class. We're just waiting for the confirmation. And they're going to be happening at San Francisco Circuit. This is the same similar layout as what we have seen in Race Driver Grid, Grid 2019, and as well as Grid Autosport and Grid Legends. SS Marin is going to be in the Hyundai Envision 74, the representing the brand sponsoring this tournament. Koenigsegg 1-1 for Karina, Ferrari Monza SP1 for SF Nemo, KG Spectre 3. Would he be copying any of the picks? Apparently, he wants to go full Korean as well and joins in with the Envision 74. This is our first time seeing the Envision 74, Monza, and Koenigsegg 1-1 here in the promotion stage Best 128. SF Nemo is going to be daring enough to be in the Ferrari Monza SP1, which is like a Ferrari LaFerrari light, just without the Hikers passive. And SF Nemo is going to be our camera focus. Apparently though, the Monza SP1 is known to not have a really good launch off the line. That is taken by the two hybrids right in front. The two Envision 74s driven by SS Marin and KG Spectre 3. Karina in the Koenigsegg 1-1 is falling behind due to loss of balance. But SF Nemo seems to be having the better car pick throughout this technical section of San Francisco, which the Ferrari Monza SP1 is known for once you get it off the line. However, KG Spectre 3 and SS Marin are doing much better in the Envisions, but apparently I cannot say the same for SF Nemo, who's just collided on wall during that S-curve section. So we might have to move forward here to Karina in the Koenigsegg 1-1. Going into the high jumps, which is very notorious. We have experienced this firsthand in Race Driver Grid, but this has been toned down for arcade mobile racing purposes, so we're not going to see any car damage whatsoever up in that section. But they're now heading into Chinatown now. Karina already utilizing all those 1,200 horsepower of the Koenigsegg 1-1, passing KG Spectre 3 and SS Marin's hybrid technology 600 horsepower Korean batteries. Into the long straight now is all gonna be for the Koenigsegg 1-1 here. SS Marin and KG Spectre 3 are falling behind real fast, but SS Marin is in the slipstream. Will he be able to capitalize, or will she be able to capitalize? Only time will tell, as Karina is having a really good rhythm as they enter into lap 2. Going through the first J-turns of the downtown San Francisco as Karina goes into the technical S-curve section. We've seen SF Nemo actually collide here. Will it be the same for Karina, who's in the less stable but much more powerful Koenigsegg 1-1? SS Marin is gaining closer and closer, as close as he possibly could, to Karina's 1-1, but there's only so much as a single gear Hyundai Envision could actually do. But we may see an upset here once they get into the hill climb, into the San Francisco ramps. This is one of the more popularly known travel points of San Francisco, California, if you were there as a tourist. Going through the church right now is closing in on Karina's 1-1, a little bit wide, but with a good out-and-out execution, and is perfectly done. Slowly closing into Karina's 1-1 down Chinatown. Only last chance to go before the long straight and to the last hard right. That was a smooth execution right up those jumps. A bit of some braking. Karina loses balance. SS Marin overtakes and has a better corner exit, but Karina is fighting back on that S-curve. It is a 1-2 close finish between SS Marin and Karina. The final corner up, SS Marin goes in early, maybe a little too wide there. Karina secures their first place finish. SS Marin finally gets a podium in second place, followed by SF Nemo in the Monza and KG Spectre 3 dropping down on fourth place. Point standing wise, Karina is secured for the lead. SS Marin is in danger, followed by SF Nemo. KG Spectre 3 needs to place second to advance to the next heat. Else, it's gonna be either Marin or SF Nemo to steal the lead. And now they're joining in onto Persian Gulf's Oasis Circuit, the tutorial map once again. So it's going to be picked between the Rubicon or the Land Cruiser or the Urus. Or, oh no, wait. I may have gotten the car roster wrong. It's the Urus or the Rubicon. So for this one, SS Marin and Karina are going to be in the Lamborghini Urus. SF Nemo would be in the Land Cruiser. Meanwhile, KG Spectre 3 is also going to be in the Urus Performante. But Karina and SS Marin are flexing that Liberty Walk body kit on the Urus. Meanwhile, the Land Cruiser is having the Safari body kit. KG Spectre 3 would be our camera focus here. We have known the trick in the Oasis stage. The secret here is that none of them should be doing red drifts. It's going to be strictly green drifts if they want to have a good lap time in this map. The Land Cruiser is off-driven by SF Nemo, which is the prime ability of the Land Cruiser as opposed to these other SUV bulls. Let's actually switch camera controls now to see if they are actually doing it as what we're hoping. But looks like SF Nemo may secure this as the Land Cruiser may be the better pick. And having that body kit equipped, which would also increase its ride height. A smooth exit from SF Nemo right there. SS Marin is having some trouble keeping that Lamborghini Urus alongside KG Spectre 3. Karina, though, is dropping down to a 11-second map. Maybe they are throwing the match, knowing that their lead is officially secured and they have nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, SS Marin and SF Nemo are fighting it for first place. So if we're going to switch over to SF Nemo in the Land Cruiser, Nemo or Marin both tied for third place. They have to... One of them needs to get the win, but looks like it may probably be SS Marin unless SF Nemo does a miracle run here in the last corner as SS Marin goes wide in that last section. Second to the last checkpoint, SS Marin may be able to capitalize. Too much drift angle from SF Nemo, and SS Marin takes first place, securing their qualifying positions. And waiting on the final results, let us actually just go out and exit and move on to the next grid to find out. Okay, so they have, unfortunately, the next heat has already started for 4B. So we're actually, while this is happening, which will take some time, let us actually get an opportunity to see 4A's standard race happen. So the final advancement is Karina at 31 points, SS Marin at 24 points. But we'll just do one, we'll just go on lap 2, focus here on Shanghai Urban Garden for Group 4A, while waiting for 4B to finish. So for Shanghai Urban Garden, everyone is mostly in the BMW M Series M3 with... Who is in the pony? SS Marin is in the pony. So okay, let us now actually jump into lap 2 so that we can join back into the other heat earlier. So this was the start of lap 2. Karina was in the lead, KG Spectre in the M3, SS Marin is in the Hyundai Pony, SF Nemo is falling behind with 1.3 seconds. A little bit of a wall tap from SS Marin there, KG Spectre 3 closing the gap, but it was also an opportunity for SF Nemo to overtake from the collision of SF Nemo's Pony. And safe to say that Karina is more familiar with the BMW M3 more than the other combatants combined. So SS Marin going down on that long straight in the Hyundai Pony, which is a really good anniversary car during the first year anniversary of SEA, alongside either that or a free Koenigsegg Agera RS. So now we're almost done, 85% in on this replay, just to see how this performance played out. SS Marin really making use of that high handling side of the Hyundai Pony. Unfortunately does collision, letting SF Nemo overtake, followed by KG Spectre 3 and Karina for the lead. But we can see here that SS Marin had a bad start, yet still qualified at the end. So that was a Cinderella story of a finish for SS Marin, and we're all glad that they were able to qualify. So now let us actually go back to 4B. Hopefully that... Okay, so they're still not done, but we can now wait for the race to officially finish. This is a good time for me to go check up on live stream. And let me just double check here on the live chat. Normalaza, that was a mistake by Nemo to cut early. No speed to catch up on the final stretch. Okay, they may be referring to the off-road race earlier. And Dearest Me has commented, yes, the pony. So they were already glad that we're seeing some variety here on Group 4. Unidentified Soldier 412. By the way, how late am I? You just missed the last two Group 3 races and Group 4 if you did not make it to that one. We're now on Group 4B with our combatants Aflojod, Reset 008, Kebe Gungun, and PSG Irene. We have yet to see the results of this first heat. Unfortunately, if you were here yesterday, you know that I cannot jump in to the race, to the live stream mid-race, as we would be incurring some technical issues. On behalf of the Racing Master developers, I apologize if anyone watching in-game is experiencing that same issue. But right now, we're just gonna wait for the results to kick in. This would be a good time for me to promote what's gonna be happening for the remainder of these live streams. First of all, the Battle Pass. The Hyundai and Battle Pass is now live. Complete missions to unlock the car's champion. The champion car themed outfit is a black Hyundai t-shirt, a Hyundai and collaboration decal, and the classic 1975 Hyundai Pony. The Hyundai Pony was Hyundai's first independently developed model and played an important role in the brand's journey onto the global stage, offering both an engaging in-game experience and collectible value. You can also earn event prediction coins by participating in the event. Use them in exchange shop to redeem limited draw tickets, diamonds, vehicle kits, and other rewards. Encourage viewers to enter the game, make progress in the Battle Pass, claim rewards, and use their event prediction coins to redeem even more rewards. Now, for those asking when the finals are going to be happening, it's going to happen at September 19 during the Game Esports, or more like the Game Esports show that's going to be happening at Seoul, Korea from September 18 to the 20th. Racing Master would be taking center stage on September 19, where it's going to be a grand regional, cross-regional finals, where the top 8 players from all 4 regions will gather in Seoul on September 19 to compete for the championship, along with substantial cash prizes. But enough about what's going to happen on September 19. That's not happening just yet. Let us go back here and see what's going to be happening. Oh, we're seeing a low pool selection. Everybody will be in the 1992 NA1 Honda NSX-R, which, if you are familiar with the recent update, this car got a substantial buff. It was known to be the weakest sports car class legendary in the original patch, but in the latest patch, it has finally redeemed itself. It got the glow up it deserves. It is now on par with the Japanese servers NSX-R, which everybody knows is the better NSX, which was originally introduced during the Tokyo Ghoul collaboration in JP as a limited car. Meanwhile, in SCA, it was a permanent car. But everyone has already got off. Rise 008 is in the lead, followed by SF Aflojod, Kembing Gungan on third, and our camera focus PSG Irene on fourth place here on Harbin Snow and Ice Kingdom. PSG Irene playing it safe on lap 1, getting a good feel of an ECU5 NSX-R, which everybody should, if they've been losing on the gacha, should already have by this point. Currently in sports class, the NSX-R is the strongest permanent sports car legendary in the lineup, originally held by the Jaguar XJ220. Everyone going hard on the slippery S-curves right there. PSG Irene having a problem getting out of fourth place right there. Kevin Gungun overshoots and steers off to the outside, but manages to hold on to third place. As they cross the line to lap 2, PSG Irene seems to be having some trouble, so we're going to be switching camera focuses to Kevin Gungun, who is now in second place, fighting it off against SF Aflojod. Meanwhile, Rise 08 having a minuscule of a lead compared to all other NSXs. PSG Irene capitalizing on the slipstream into the high ramp of Snow and Ice Kingdom. Kevin Gungan going a little bit too wide right there, but a bit of a grip approach, and is now conveniently in second/third place, right behind Rise 08 and SF Aflojod. Going into the S-curves right there, Kevin Gungan may actually overtake here, but apparently goes a little bit too wide into this section, but maybe that is his plan, as the switchback throws SF Aflojod off their rhythm. Kevin Gungan now secured for second place. He has one corner to go to take the lead of Rise 08. And just one final corner. The exit is what's gonna matter here. And apparently Rise 08 secures the lead. Kevin Gungan on second place. SF Aflojod on third, with PSG Irene on fourth place. And here are the standings. Rise 08 with 16 points. SF Aflojod with 14 points. PSG Irene struggling on fourth place, with Kevin Gungan bumping up to third place with 11 points. And now they're jumping into Yas Marina Sunset. Excuse me for that, sorry. I apologize for that one again. So now we're already in extreme class again with the NSX, but this time it is the NC NSX here in Yas Marina Sunset, driven by Aflojod, Irene, and Rise. Sorry, by Rise 08. Everyone will be in the Acura NSX, which is currently right now, because of also the latest update prior. The Acura NSX NC1 is the strongest permanent extreme class car, 4 points above the previously strongest extreme permanent class car, which was the Mercedes AMG GTR Coupe. Alright, through the first corner, Kevin Gungan with a little bit of a wall tap there, letting Rise 08 overtake into the lead, with PSG Irene at the back, SF Aflojod in fourth place. Going into the first corner here, we're very familiar with the layout of Yas Marina Circuit. It was also the final race of the F1 2025 movie starring Brad Pitt. If you have not watched that, you should go ahead and give it a bit of a watch. Slipstream now happening from everyone. This is where originally the NSX NC1 shines if you have played the JP server NC1 NSX, which was paired with the Bugatti Chiron back in the day. The NC NSX driven by Kevin Gungan is now officially in the lead with a big 0.2 second gap. Rise 08 and SF Aflojod are fighting for second and third place. Now chasing after Kevin Gungan, but now Kevin Gungan drops to second place. SF Aflojod now stealing the lead. Rise 08 right at the back. PSG Irene not too far away as they go through the technical section, going back to the start-finish line. Kevin Gungan with a better execution throughout the consecutive U-turn right there. A complex U-turn, if I do say so myself. All within racing bounds. Kevin Gungan cutting through the pit lane there to secure the lead, but Rise 08 has the better corner exit by a little bit, and as they go into lap 2. Rise 08, a little bit of hesitation from Kevin Gungan. SF Aflojod also makes wall collision. PSG Irene overtakes into second place, with Rise 08 making a substantial lead against the other three NC NSXs. PSG Irene now in second place, but is a bit far away from incurring slipstream distance from Rise 08. Going to the long straight now, they seem to be in equal footing, but now it's already within slipstream range. We can finally see the NSX NC in action as the slipstream now carries Irene into Rise 08's leading position. Better braking execution from PSG Irene there. Rise 08 with a little bit of some imbalance, but has not deterred his speed. Rise 08 and PSG Irene fighting it one-on-one for the lead. Rise 08 and PSG Irene exchanging slipstreams as they enter to the second corner. But SF Aflojud has finally caught up. Kevin Bunga not too far away. All NSXs are right next to each other, neck and neck, as they go into the technical section. Going through the complex corners right here. PSG Irene is doing good so far, but unfortunately, Aflojud does the better exit. Going for a slow and faster approach. PSG Irene fails to capitalize. It is just dropped back to 4th place. Kevin Gonga now in the lead. Rise 08 retakes the lead. It's everybody's game here. An oversteer from Gavin Bongan. Rise 08 overtakes. PSG Irene takes 2nd place and is now across the line. Woo! That was exchange after exchange after exchange. Rise 08 with the lead. PSG Irene and Kevin Bongan now in 3rd place, 2 points away from our 2nd placer, SF Aflojud. Now, SF Aflojud needs to protect their position if they wish to advance. But it can be either Kevin Bongan or PSG Irene. I mean, SF Aflojud is... Wait, sorry. I kind of... With so much hype, I kind of miscalculated who is who. The only thing I know is that Rise 08 is completely secured in their advancement. But everybody now is going to be in the BMW X3 M40i. Rise 08 can go easy on this run. So what we need to focus on is who is going to advance. Will it be SF Aflojud, PSG Irene, or Kevin Gongan? Just waiting for the 3-2-1 message to kick in, and we're gonna be sure who is gonna be the second to advance in Group 4B. Camera focuses in SF Aflojud with PSG Irene with a tremendous lead over everybody else. Is this because PSG Irene was able to initiate a good, perfect, super perfect launch? Or is this some sort of delayed issue between Aflojud, Rise, and Kevin Gongan? A 1-second lead from everyone else. PSG Irene should be in the rhythm. Aflojud chasing right behind. Kevin Gongan now overtaking Aflojud. Rise 08 stealing the lead as well. It may be it for SF Aflojud, who's already 1 second behind. PSG Irene needs to make sure that they don't overextend going into lap 2. Rise 08 is now just taunting PSG Irene if they can hold on to the lead or not. Rise 08 is perfectly secured, but we're seeing some imbalance there in a high drift angle for PSG Irene. That's a bit of some speed loss, but the same can be said for Kevin Gongan and SF Aflojud. This may be PSG Irene's big break from a drop from the earlier races up to a comeback here in the off-road race. He just has to make sure to be right behind or right ahead of Rise 08, and looks like it is going to happen. And across the line, PSG Irene breaks the tie and is advancing into the next heat alongside Rise 08. Final standings are in. 32 points for Rise 08, 25 points for PSG Irene. Kevin Gongan, who used to have the lead, drops to 21 points, and Aflojud down to 22 points. And that is it for Race 4B. We are now going to jump right away to Group 4C. And unfortunately, looks like 4C has now started their race. The race comprises of PSG Browen, Nemesis, and RFF OK Gas. So while this race is happening, I'll just like to let you guys know of the following details. The Hyundai N Battle Pass is now live. Complete missions to unlock champion car themed outfits, Hyundai N collaboration decals, and the classic Hyundai Pony. The Hyundai Pony was Hyundai's first independently developed model and played an important role in the brand's journey onto the global stage. It offers both an engaging in-game experience and collectible value. This car was originally introduced in the first year anniversary of Racing Master SEA alongside a free Koenigsegg Agera. You can also earn event prediction coins by participating during the event. Use them in exchange shop to redeem limited draw tickets, vehicle kits, diamonds, and other rewards. I encourage you all to enter the game, make progress at the Battle Pass, claim rewards, and use the event prediction coins to redeem even more rewards. And just like a reminder for those asking about the finals are going to be happening on September 6th, the region finals. Meanwhile, the cross-region finals is gonna happen on September 19 at the Game Esports event at Seoul, Korea from September 18 to 20th. Racing Master will take center stage on September 19 as Racing Master is teaming up with Hyundai N for the first time to launch the regional Hyundai N Racing Master Cup. The top 8 players from all 4 regions will gather in Seoul on September 19 to compete for the championship, along with substantial cash prizes and an exclusive in-game title. Tune into the online Grand Finals livestream to share in the $1 million diamond giveaway and claim random in-game redemption codes. I encourage you all to guess who will represent for their region in Seoul as you tune into the Grand Final livestream to claim rewards and cheer for the regional players. While waiting for this heat to finish, which is Group 4C, let us take another break. Alright, thank you all for waiting. Looks like the race has just finished between Browen, Nemesis, and OK Gas. Apparently, Abim XRM has decided to forfeit their matchup. So it's just going to be between these three. If we're going to check onto the results earlier, I was not able to see that. But oh, this is a interesting map that we've seen. We have not seen at all. This is the full layout of Mount Haruna, aka Mount Akinov Initial D. This is the showdown of, well, let's give it a moment. Showdown of the legendary Racing Master, and Nemesis and Browen and OK Gas are all gonna be competing in the Ferrari Roma down Akinas uphill. I mean Akinas downhill. My mistake. So this is our first time seeing the full layout of Mount Haruna, aka Mount Akina. We have not encountered this during ranked races for obvious reasons, as this is a very long map. And off the line, our camera focus is on PSG Browen. Nemesis is right behind. RFF OK Gas is right behind on third. Into the first corner. No one has been clipping the gutter so far. I believe I can actually go full detail on the sections here. And go into the first hairpin of the race. Everyone goes a little bit wide, but Nemesis takes a tighter line. Browen doing good so far in second place. OK Gas slowly falling off behind. Browen and Nemesis clipping a bit of the gutter right there as they go into the grass patch, which is normally not included in the original Mount Haruna. Going into the next set of hairpins, once they get into the skating rink, before reaching the skating rink, and it's equal footing between Nemesis and Browen. Now on the long straight down the skating rink, Nemesis is in the lead. Browen capitalizing on that slipstream, goes past the skating rink entrance into the wide corner. Nemesis clearing with a good gutter attack right in that section. Browen slowly in the outside, but is still within attack range. OK Gas is fading and fading fast. Right into the right hand of doom. Browen goes into the gutter and now is right behind Nemesis. Nemesis barely clinging onto the lead. A little bit of some instability coming from Nemesis, who is trying to tap a bit on the drift angle there to keep the positioning. Meanwhile, Browen understood perfectly well that the Roma is perfectly balanced as they go into the entrance to the 5 consecutive hairpins. Sorry for the sudden interruption there, but on the first corner, both attacking the gutter. Nemesis and Browen with a full flawless gutter attack. Browen does another gutter attack. Nemesis misses the clipping point, but is able to keep their acceleration up. Into the third corner, Nemesis clipping the gutter. Browen missing it a bit of the mark. And into the final gutter area, and none of them were, despite the fact that it's the wider hairpin, none of them were able to clip the gutter. But I stand corrected as Browen clips the gutter again. The very slow section, Browen goes wide. Nemesis secures their lead with a tighter line. Browen is slowly trying to catch up, but unfortunately fails to do so once more. Into the last hairpin, into the final long straight. Down, Browen is a second behind Nemesis. Nemesis is in the groove, finding the right lines and sections. Browen cuts through that wide section over there. We're two corners away from the goal. And to the famed overtaking point where the second Mizutoshi takes place. And then into the last 2 hairpins into downtown of Shinagawa Gunma. We can already see it from afar. Cross through the bus stop and across the line. Nemesis wins, followed by Browen, and the RFF member is in 3rd place. Wow, so we have finally seen the end. We're really dropping into Shinagawa City there. Thanks so much to Browen for actually showcasing it. Nemesis takes the lead with 16 points. Browen with 12 points, redeeming themselves. OK Gas is in 14 points, still in 2nd place. Now we're waiting for them to start the next heat of Group 4C. Nemesis is the person to look out for, and it is back-to-back Toge attack. Now in Mount Bayun. It's the reverse, so it's gonna start off with a very complex hill climb, going up into a much more subtle downhill. So this is extreme class. What cars will they be using? Bro Wen is going to be equipping themselves with a Porsche 918 Spider 2015. Okay guys, in the Aston Martin Valhalla. Nemesis in the Porsche 918 Spider 15. This is going to be an interesting matchup, as the 918 Spider 2015 has good acceleration and good drift angling. However, it is a dated model, so it may fall behind as opposed to the much newer release Aston Martin Valhalla. And off they go. The 918s go off the line. Nemesis is our camera focus. Into the first hard left, then to the hard right. Nemesis gets passed by PSG Browen. PSG Browen making sure that they qualify alongside Nemesis. But OK Gas is making sure that he also gets his opportunity, pushing away Nemesis down to third place. Browen and OK Gas, Valhalla versus 918 Spider. Nemesis seems to be having some trouble with his 918 Spider and is slowly falling behind. OK Gas now in the lead with that Aston Martin Valhalla. Browen is now in second place, but still a substantial amount of a gap between them and Nemesis. OK Gas and Browen exchanging first and second swaps, but looks like Nemesis is still trying to catch up to the leading two. Nemesis being slowly pulled away by RFF OK Gas. Browen secures this lead, so we may be seeing a tiebreaker to happen just a moment soon. Now, for the tiebreaker to not happen, Nemesis needs to overtake OK Gas here in the downhill section of Mount Bayun. Okay, the chicane is up first with two final hairpins. Nemesis with a wall tap, losing all that momentum. OK Gas is now right behind Browen. Browen is cruising in the final corner. OK Gas tries his best, and unfortunately for Nemesis, that is gonna make the race even tighter of a result. As across the line, RFF OK Gas capitalized. Everyone is in a 21-point bracket. Now, the one race left to break this three-way tie is the off-road race in round 4. Everyone in 21 points. It is anybody's game at this point. And now we're jumping immediately into the off-road race here at Persian Gulf Town Rally. OK Gas, Nemesis, and PSG Browen, they have to make their selections count. Browen in the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. RFF OK Gas, Nemesis has yet to pick. Nemesis is picking the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Now, will OK Gas, I believe the only option there would be the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, which he is actually going to select. This is a gamble on RFF OK Gas's part, as we know that stat-wise, the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon is superior in almost every aspect. But we have to see who is going to be the one to advance in Group 4C. Everyone is all tied in 21 points. This is the tiebreaker. Who will be the one to advance in Group 4C to the next heat? Who would be the top two? Our camera focus will be on the G-Wagon driven by RFF OK Gas, and the Wrangler Rubicons are showing their better supremacy off the line with the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. But that is still not the end of this race, as RFF OK Gas goes for a lighter drift angle, going high and tall and wide. That may play against his favor, as Browen and Nemesis are on a much better position as opposed to the G-Wagon. So switching over there, who will be the lead between Browen and Nemesis? It is tight between the two Wrangler Rubicons right here. They are equally matched. They are leaving the G-Wagon behind. So we know that Nemesis and Browen are going to advance, but who would be the one to win in this matchup? Nemesis goes too close in with a tighter corner angle, so Browen capitalizes with a much lesser slip and across the line and wins first place here in Persian Gulf Town Rally. With the ones advancing would be RFF Browen and Nemesis. So much for OK Gas. That was a huge gamble on his part. Unfortunately, he failed to qualify, so the other two would be the ones to advance into the next heat. And apparently it will also mean that here in 4D, the race already began for RFF Abizar, Saturis, Colleg, RVSH, and SF Zorus. Did I say that right? It's probably RFF SF Zorus. So for the time being, we'll go on for another break now that we have seen the conclusion of groups 3C, 3D, and from 4A up to 4C. We will be right back. Okay guys, we are officially back and now the race has just started loading for sports class for Group 4D here at Amsterdam Circuit, and another rare pool selected by our combatants: Abizar, Zorus, Saturis, and RVSH, everyone using the newly upgraded Honda NSX-R 1992. The NSX-R 1992 has a not so wonderful performance index at launch, but is now sitting perfectly well at 926, which is equal to that of the JP server NSX-R, which is a really pleasant surprise and present from the Racing Master devs. And we are off with RFF Abizar as our camera focus for tonight. RFF Abizar already secures the lead with the NSX-R. Zorus is now chasing right behind. Colleague RVSH is right at the back. Saturus with a bit of some interruptions and issues and is now 2 seconds behind everybody else. RFF Abizar seems to have that NSX down to a T, but colleague RVSH is making sure that that does not happen. As they go through the technical section of the Amsterdam map, Abizar's managed to do a better corner exit and now takes the lead from RVSH, building a tremendous gap. Saturn is tremendously behind the other three with almost 3 seconds of a gap. Meanwhile, Zorus and RVSH just within striking distance of RFF Abizar. Everyone is in the NSX 1992 and Abizar hits the wall, giving way for Zorus to re-steal the lead. Now, Abizar is now tied with RVSH. Zorus is now cruising on to the lead, but if he drops his guard for one moment, Abizar can just take it back as Abizar clears that bridge section much faster than RVSH. RVSH biting back on corner entry, but Abizar having the better corner exit. Zorus, this is what I'm talking about. Zorus is now losing ground, losing momentum, now loses the lead against RFF Abizar and RVSH respectively. RVSH making sure that they stick within slipstream on Abizar's rear as they cross the line into lap 2. Zorus, RVSH are now leading. Unfortunately, Abizar takes a wall hit and drops into 3rd place. Our SF Zorus and colleague RVSH are now gunning for the lead. Abizar needs a miracle to recover from that one collision. Satiris, unfortunately, will not be able to hear from them for a while as they are stuck within a 5-second gap from RFF Abizar himself. Meanwhile, SF Zorus is not too close to RVSH to even make a comeback. Leaving colleague RVSH, he needs to have a consistent line to protect this opportunity given to him on the loss of RFF Abizar. So 2 seconds now building, he has now finally learned the rhythm of the new NSX and is now capitalizing on this opportunity. But Zorus seems to be getting closer on corner entry, but falling behind the corner exit as RVSH builds gap on corner exits through this complex chicane down Amsterdam's downtown region. It looks like RFF Abizar will not be able to make the comeback that we hope that he would do. So colleague RVSH may secure this, but Zorus from Team SF may ensure that he will still have a fighting chance. So one last corner to go and he needs to stick within slipstream range of colleague RVSH if it is even enough to get close to the goal, but unfortunately it will not be enough. Colleague RVSH will take the win on this, followed by SF Zorus and RFF Abizar for 3rd place. And the standings are as follows. Colleague RVSH, SF Zorus, and RFF Abizar are all tied in 14 points for the lead. Satiris gaining their 2nd 4th place finish with 8 points. Right, now they're just waiting for Satiris to confirm, and they're now jumping into the extreme class race at Soul River Rhythm. Colleague RVSH making an early pick on the NSX, followed by SF Zorus. RFF Abizar and Satiris have yet to make their selection for this group. This may be Group E if what Pool E if what I remember correctly. So these are the lowest performing / permanent banner cars. Satiris with a Ferrari F8 Tributo. This is a surprise. And RFF Abizar also the NC NSX. The NC NSX, for those who are not familiar, dropped into the previous season's update alongside the Honda Civic FK8 Type R in the permanent pool. This would actually explain its absence, as in the JP server, this was originally the Season 1 car drop right after the Bugatti Chiron. But because the performance of this one is based on the Japanese server NSX, they decided to drop it into the permanent gacha pool. Satiris is a little bit behind with his selection of the F8 Tributo. Meanwhile, the hybrid all-wheel drive system of the NC NSX carrying Abizar, Zorus, and RVSH. Abizar once again in the lead here in Soul River Rhythm. And hopefully he does gain his rhythm, because he may seem to have his rhythm in recuperation of what happened on the previous run. Abizar now slowly building gap as they go through the complex section here in downtown Seoul, Korea, where the Grand Finals on September 19 is going to be held at. There we see the Hyundai banner. The Hyundai banner in Seoul River Rhythm was intentionally added as an update for the Hyundai N-Cup Championship, which is the only probably a licensing thing agreement between Hyundai and Racing Master. Going up to the alley on the hill, on the hilly section, Abizar overshoots that from the jump. Unfortunately misses his mark. Zorus overtakes once again. Colleague RVSH just right behind, taking the corner the same way as RFF Abizar, but exits in a much better pace. RFF Abizar in a little bit of some trouble here, but manages to recover his position in the technical section. Unfortunately, RVSH and Abizar have collided with the inner wall, but that did not deter his performance against SF Zorus. RVSH falling behind. Zorus is the only competition that Abizar has as they're close to entering lap 2. Abizar with a bit of a correction there on the corner exit, but as they enter to the park once again into lap 2, RFF Abizar holding onto that lead so strongly. SF Zorus in second place, calling RVSH. Satiris with the Ferrari F8 Tributo, unfortunately, may be a not so much of a good pick and is dropping down to 4th place. RFF Abizar now going through the the early half of the downtown section, which is very synonymous to a similar layout of what we have seen back in Gran Turismo 4's Seoul, Korea map. Now going behind the bus area, crossing into the alley, getting close to the alleyway, RFF Abizar securing their lead, hoping to break the three-way tie between Zorus and RVSH. Building gap slowly, but Zorus is making sure that he would still have a chance. But we can also see RVSH recovered from the collision earlier and is now right behind Zorus and closer enough to RFF Abizar. Again, RFF Abizar overshoots from the jumps, and Zorus with a better corner entry retakes the lead. RFF Abizar now once again in second place, but takes a corner exit much better than Zorus and steals the lead once again. Calling RVSH not being able to get an opportunity to steal the lead from either Abizar or Zorus. The consecutive S-curves are once again there. Zorus may have hit the wall right there and lost his momentum, giving the lead to RFF Abizar for good, with calling RVSH right behind. Satiris, the gap building between them and the NSXs are increasing to almost 7 seconds, with Abizar one corner away from finishing. Calling RVSH has one final opportunity, but okay, it's kind of bit close, but unfortunately RFF Abizar is the one who secures and recovers his losses from the previous round with first place in Extreme Class. Followed by SF Zorus at 21 points, calling RVSH at 19 points, Satiris with a consistent 12 points. Now we're gonna be in the final round of Group 4D before we move on to Group 5. The last round remaining for these four would be the off-road. And we're gonna be having it at Persian Gulf's Oasis Sleeping. Oasis Sleeping is... I'm honestly not too familiar with this layout. I may be thinking the other one that has a similar layout. But everyone would be in the BMW X3 M40i 2023 model. I believe the other selection, if it's not this, would probably be the Audi Q7. But now we can see that the tire is broken. RFF Abizar is now holding first place. RVSH and SF Zorus are tied. Not actually tied, but close enough for second and third. So colleague RVSH is our camera focus for this race. And we're just waiting for the countdown to officially begin between these four. 2, 1, and we are off. Satiris with a bad start apparently. Zorus even with a worse start. Calling RVSH and RFF Abizar are now fighting it amongst each other, and now it just kicked into me. This is the map with the biggest jump in the off-road map layouts of the current meta of Racing Masters Off-Road. Calling RVSH is now leading. RFF Abizar dropping down to third. Sator is regaining some momentum while SF Zorus seems to be struggling here on off-road. Calling RVSH needs to be consistent here, but Satoris can probably recapitalize here, and there's the big jump that I was talking earlier, about. Calling RVSH makes it in, but Abizar now drops to fourth after that big jump. Zorus takes second place, Satoris on third. So we may see an upset. Maybe there is a chance that Abizar may not be able to qualify after all, but we will see in the final standings of Group 4D. And across the line, Calling RVSH finishes in first place with a 1 minute 7 flat. And the results are in. Calling RVSH at 28 points. RFF Abizar barely holding it in at 27 points. SF Zorus on third place. And Satoris in fourth place. So Abizar and RVSH are advancing to the next heat. So let us now move on to the next group, which is going to be Group 5 for Group 5A. And apparently the race has now begun between Nov94, SF Suts, Rad Bushido from PSG, and Skyness. So this one would be a bit of a controversial battle from what we can see here. So while we're waiting, we can actually explore what happened on the first round of 4D. But to see the roster for 5A, SF translating to Kandang Satwa. Are they both from Kandang Satwa, or one of them just failed to update? Okay, so from Team Satwa family, it's gonna be Satwa family versus Team Prestige for Group 5A. But while waiting for 5A to finish, let's actually go to Group 4D's Round 1 and at least see Lap 2 of how it happened here at Harbin Snow and Ice Kingdom. Alright, so the lineup here, Satorus with the odd one out while everyone's in the Hyundai Elantra. But we're going to be jumping into lap 2 of this race to see how things went off. Seems to be a tight race so far down lap 2. Zorus, RVSH, and Abizar are in the Hyundai Elantra, which was originally a Korean exclusive, and also jumped in during the pre-qualifiers of the previous season's banner. We can also see Satoris taking the lead with that Mustang Mach 1, but goes too wide onto the corner exit of there. Down through the icy section, Abizar making waves with the Elantra, a front-wheel drive 300 horsepower Hyundai, which is not normally known for racing outside of South Korean region. It looks like Satoris may have lost momentum, giving the lead to RFF Abizar with one last final corner in. Could have been the win for SF Zorus, even with wall tapping from both of them and just tricking everyone to a wall tap. Abizar takes the lead on that note, understanding for us why he was able to qualify. But we're going to be waiting for the progression of Group 5A to finish, so this would be a good time for us to take another break. Okay, guys, welcome back. And it seems the race simultaneously happened while 5D's final race was happening, and we're already now in the extreme race between SF Nov 94, Rad Bushido Prestige, SF Suts, and Prestige Skyness here in Tokyo Bottom. Now we're just waiting on the car selection of these four combatants. And no one has selected a car so far yet. But okay, Rad Bushido from Prestige is going with the Koenigsegg Agera. So for the next heat, Team S, it's gonna be CLK versus Agera RS. And we know that the Agera RS has just been updated with a better suspension. So we're gonna see if it can now go toe-to-toe with the current reigning king of best easy-going grip car. So Team SF with the CLK and Team Prestige with the Agera. And their off-camera focus would be on Rad Bushido. So the Agera's officially taking the lead, but the CLKs are just right behind. Prestige with the drifts. SF with the grip runs. Are they actually going to go grip runs? Yeah, they are going to go grip runs. Looks like PSG may have some problems on the highway section, but once they get into the city proper, and Nov 94 hitting wall, overestimating the grip capacity of the CLK, goes outside too wide. SF Suts handling the CLK much better, but Rad Bushido and Skyness are chasing right behind the Strassen version. Now they're at downtown, getting close to the Shibuya crossing. Rad Bushido just right behind SF Suts. SF Suts holding onto that lead, nearly clipping the wall from Rad Bushido right there into the first U-turn of Shibuya crossing. The CLK suddenly make an attack. Skyness drops down to fourth, but Rad Bushido was able to overtake much better than the CLK's grip ability here in the high speed, on the low speed hairpins. SF Suts not giving any room to PSG Skyness. Meanwhile, SF Nov 94 dropped down to 4th place for whatever reason it may be. But Rad Bushido is in the rhythm in the Koenigsegg Agera RS. But camera focus here on SF Suts. SF Suts overtakes PSG Skyness and now is chasing after Rad Bushido as they come back here onto the expressway, where the CLK is a much better pick. A little bit of some braking there, but Rad Bushido still holds onto the lead. SF Suts with the slipstream. The CLK is much more stronger slipstream wise. Rad Bushido gets overtaken. SF Suts through the S curves, coming into lap 2. SF Suts is now covering the lead with an increasing gap. A little bit of some slowdown there, but that should not deter. The lead is now 1.5 seconds away from first to second place. Rad Bushido falling far behind. PSG Skyness also far behind. Cannot get to his teammate slipstream. Meanwhile, SF Nov 94 is kind of close, but still far away from getting slipstream from PSG Skyness. Meanwhile, Rad Bushido, going back to our camera focus, Rad Bushido is now entering the tunnel, going back into downtown, where the Agera RS is much more stronger compared to the CLK once they hit the downtown area. SF Suts right there maintaining the grip runs with the CLK, which the CLK is completely known for. Meanwhile, Rad Bushido PSG in the Agera going sideways into the hard hairpins. He should not trigger the red drift penalty at corner exit if he wants any opportunity in staying close to Suts' CLK. And with that section, he was able to minimize the gap, but on corner exit, the CLK was much better, and Rad Bushido experiences a bit of some instability in corner exit and had to brake to restabilize, losing all that gained distance from SF Suts, and now the distance doubles with SF Suts getting close to the expressway once again. This race may have already been guaranteed to Team SF Suts. Unfortunately, Nov 94 is not looking too good. Skyness, however, on the other hand, is just struggling alongside his partner Rad Bushido. Suts will be taking the win in this heat. Meanwhile, suddenly, Nov 94 with this last second overtake takes second place, putting Prestige in their place First, second win for Team SF, third and fourth for Prestige. A sudden comeback from Nov94. We never saw it coming. And now, on 25 points for SF Suts, Nov94 and Rad Bushido are tied for third place at 16 points. Skyness at 18 points. Nov94 needs to win on the off-road race if he wants to join their partner Suts in advancing to the next heat. And now the next heat will officially begin at Persian Gulf Canyon Stream. Rad Bushido, SF Suts, Skyness, they're all gonna be in the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Nov94, please do not make the mistake of getting the G-Wagon if you want to advance alongside your team partner. Jensen, the lag live stream like 10 seconds. Please, I recommend refreshing your live stream feed. That usually helps fix it. But now Nov94, everyone would be in the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon here in which map is this? Let's just wait for the map to load, everyone, so that we can finally see after the countdown. There seems to be some delays happening on the combatants. Our camera focus would be Nov94, who is currently in third place. Suts is already secured points-wise. Now he just needs to get a second place finish against Rad Bushido and Skyness. So Nov94 now in the lead, making sure that he does not overshoot the corners on the Wrangler Rubicon to ensure that their speeds are consistent. Skyness falling down behind into fourth place. Nov94 now already in fourth place. Too safe of a corner exit right there. Into the downhill as they make their way into the river. Everyone needs to stick to the left side near the left cliff if they don't want to trigger the water penalties, which off-road is normally against. Water penalties kick in. Nov94 overtakes Skyness. Skyness having some issues with his own Rubicon, but Nov94 goes wide, losing that opportunity for third place steal. Suts is in second place. Rad Bushido seems to be not giving up and making sure that at least one Prestige member goes into the next heat. A big jump from everyone right there, going to the start-finish point. And Rad Bushido in the lead, Suts in second place, Skyness in third, Nov94 in fourth place as they make their way into lap 2. Everyone building some speed here, going at an average of 170, 180 kilometers per hour through this section. Nov94 with a bit of a grip run, going for a slow in, fast out into that section. Now steals the lead with a tremendous lead from everyone. But Skyness and Rad Bushido are still right behind. At least Skyness is right behind. Rad Bushido, Skyness exchanging positions just right behind Nov94, making sure that Nov94 clips on the tighter sections without losing the checkpoint. Skyness now right behind Nov94. They have to make it good into the uphill section. Nov94 with a little bit of a grip run to our surprise and is building gap from Rad Bushido PSG. PSG Skyness in third. Suts is down on fourth place. To be careful here, nearly clipping the rocks on that section. Do not trigger the jump if at all possible. Rad Bushido practically really close. Nov94 has one final opportunity and across the line. Nov94 secures first place as intended. And here are the results. Team SF is advancing to the next heat, taking down Prestige in this race. Congratulations to Nov94. That was a critical moment for Nov94, and he was able to make do to be able to support their teammate advancing to the next heat. Now we're going here into Group 5B, where the race is between 969 Prestige Expert and Sayap Saki. Let me just double check on which race they are happening now because... Okay, so they're just starting on the standard class race. So the combatants will be PSG Crystallize, 76 Apple Royale, Kohaku, and Mina. We're just gonna wait for everyone to finish their round 1 race. So this would be a good opportunity for me to... How do I say this? This is a good opportunity for me to take a quick break, so I will be right back. And we are back, guys. And now the second race for Group 5B is just about to begin at Mexico Suburb Half between 969 Prestige Sayapsaki and Expert. They're going to be in Pool A, and 96976 Apple Royale is going to be in the Koenigsegg CCX. Waiting for the other picks, Expert Kohaku will also be in the Koenigsegg CCX. SS Mina will be in the Lamborghini Murcielago, and PSG Crystallize will be in the Maserati MC20 Cielo. So a varied group, at least for this session, as the only critical part here would be Section 2's technical section around Guanajuato. So as an all-rounder, the CCX would be a good pick, but our camera focus tonight would be with PSG Crystallize. SS Mina with the 4-wheel drive of the Fighting Bull is now in the lead, followed by the Koenigsegg's in second and third. Crystallize is now down to fourth. Crystallize's bigger challenge is that she needs to proc the passive as regularly as possible, as that corner exit would be the one that would carry them. But if they fail to trigger the passive, that may be it for their car selection. And suddenly the Lamborghini takes wall contact. Expert Kohaku overtakes. PSG Crystallized goes in second. SS Mina in the Lamborghini goes in third. 969 Apple 76 Apple Royale is down to fourth as they're about to exit Guanajuato around the gates. Expert Kohaku is securing their lead. PSG Crystallized doing good on the passive of that Maserati MC20, clicking at every opportunity they can get. To note to everyone, the regular passive of the Maserati MC20 just collided with the wall. Unfortunately, the imbalance was too much for the MC20 to handle. Kohaku takes first, followed by the Lamborghini. The other CCX comes in third, and the MC20 drops to fourth place. Expert Kohaku at 18 points, that's their second win of the night. SS Mina at 12 points. PSG Crystallized on third place. 96976 Apple Royale in fourth place. Could have been an opportunity to give rise to the Maserati MC20. Unfortunately, PSG Crystallized has failed to do so during the run. But hopefully in Extreme Class, they'll be able to recuperate their losses. They are just 1 point away from gaining to second place. Expert Kohaku would be the point person to look out for in this battle, who is currently leading. SS Mina, PSG Crystallized 969, 76, Apple Royal are all in the Koenigsegg Jesko attack. Meanwhile, Expert Kohaku has yet to make their final decision. And finally, there it is. He'll also be in the Koenigsegg Jesko attack. Just like to remind everyone as well, if you want to be notified when the next live stream will be happening, subscribe to the Miyogi Warrior 34 channel to be notified when the next heat would be happening. And also, don't forget to leave a like on this live stream as well. And the race is off. Our camera focuses with Expert Kohaku. PSG Crystallized with a super perfect start and is now in the lead. Expert Kohaku right at the back, followed by SS Mina and 96976 Apple Royale. First corner in, Apple Royale overtakes, but suddenly Crystallized makes a better corner exit. Expert Kohaku is now currently balanced in on second and third place, tying with SS Mina. Apple Royale fighting back from behind. Crystallized is currently in the lead. A good substantial lead from every other Koenigsegg Jesko. Going hard on that right hairpin. They exit, Crystallized and Kohaku exiting at the same pace at the same time, right at each other's slipstreams, building gap against 76 Apple Royale and SS Mina. Going through the rock formation right now, PSG Crystallized still holding on to that lead. Expert Kohaku with a tighter inside lane, overtaking Crystallized, taking advantage of the sand pit, which did not give them any speed penalties, but it does incur instability, but manages to break through properly. Kohaku now in the lead, nearly clipping the apex throughout that complex section. Crystallized right behind. Mina on third place, Apple Royale in fourth place. Going through the bumpy uphill section of Sicily Circuit as Kohaku slowly building gap against Crystallized, almost gunning for a 1 second lead to ensure their victory. Meanwhile, SS Mina drops down to 2.7 seconds and 76 Apple Royale at a whopping 3.4 seconds behind Expert Kohaku. PSG Crystallized still within attack range with a 0.2 second gap and is just right behind Kohaku, fighting back. He wants that win. Kohaku will not let him. Going on to the Riberia on the left side right there. Crystallized having better corner exits with the Koenigsegg Jesko than Expert Kohaku as they go through the monument, the lighthouse, making a hard left. Crystallized with a late break right there. A little bit of a wall tap from Kohaku. Crystallized overtakes. PSG Crystallized now in first place. Kohaku in second. A substantial gap of 2.5 seconds right behind. They're safe. It's just a one-on-one at this point for first and second place. Crystallized needs to ensure that win. Kohaku needs to put on the pressure. Now going back again to the rock formation. Kohaku with a tighter. He understood Sicily North Circuit much better than Crystallized ever did, but was not able to capitalize on the corner exit where Crystallized is much better known with the Koenigsegg 4 and is now in the complex section through the church gates. Then back again to the bumpy uphill section of Sicily Circuit. Kohaku understanding the Jesko's pros and cons right there on that tricky section. Little bit of some throttle control. Back into the gates of Sicily North. Secures their lead. Gets first place. PSG Crystallized for second. SS Mina for third. And 76 Apple Royale in fourth place with a 3-second deficit from the leading two. Now the points are in. Expert Kohaku at 27 points. PSG Crystallized at 18 points. Barely hanging on to second place against SS Mina, who's at 17 points, and Apple Royale at 13 points. Now one final race for Group 5B. But we know that Expert Kohaku will be advancing. Now the question is, can PSG Crystallized hold on to their second place lead? Or will 76 Apple Royale or SS Mina retake that win. Now we're seeing a difference of choices here. SS Mina gonna be gunning for the Porsche 911 Rally. F-150 Raptor for 76 Apple Royale. Expert Kohaku and Crystallize have yet to make their final car picks for their final round of this group. Crystallize going in with the F-150 Raptor. Kohaku with the F-150 Raptor. Will this be the bad opportunity for Mina? Or will they have a chance to actually or will Mina capitalize with the deficit, knowing that the 911 Rally is a top speed rally car, but not a hill climb wonder, which the F-150 Raptor is known for. We're waiting on the final countdown here. Camera focus is on 96976 Apple Royale, and off they go. SS Mina with the better launch, but remember, this is the hill climb is what you need to look out for. Even if the 911 Rally is more nimble in this section, the F-150s will be able to catch up in the uphill. Right, Crystallize is falling far behind. SS Mina may be the one to advance on this heat. Expert Kohaku in third place. Here comes the uphill section. The F-150s are closing in. 96976 Apple Royale with a big jump. Unfortunately, that big jump cost him a ton of speed, giving SS Mina a bit of an advantage. But here comes Expert Kohaku reclaiming the lead. Gets off much smoother, but now SS Mina losing momentum. A bit of a high angle there from 76 Apple Royale, but Expert Kohaku would be going home with the lead. Now it's a matter of seeing on the final grid who's going to be second place accompanying Expert Kohaku into the next heat, and it's a tie between SS Mina and PSG Crystallize. So only one way to find out. We have to see the total lap time of SS Mina and PSG Crystallize, who will be advancing to the second heat. But seeing as how the next race may have already begun for Group 5C, let's just double check. Okay, it's not. Okay, good. So we can still double check on what happened for 5B. Wait, never mind. Never mind. We'll double check later on the final results. So everyone on live chat, remind me to look back on 5B. Who advances alongside Expert Kohaku. But right now, we have a one-on-one between 969 Nahir and RFF Nadalhama. It is a Hyundai Elantra one-on-one race in Amsterdam Circuit Reverse. So this is going to be a duel between Team 969 and Team RFF. The Elantra for this group may be the best pick on the current lineup, but we'll just have to wait and see. (969) here now slowly gaining the lead, but breaks too early, just ensuring that Nandahama was able to actually hold on to their lead despite the late break. Okay, Nandahama now on the lead against 969 here. One-on-one between the two Hyundai Elantras. And suddenly, 969 here with a wall collision on the inside. The gap now slowly widening. Nandahama will now be gaining more ground as the race progresses. But Nandahama may have understeered into the outer wall as well, negating that entire gap that was just built earlier. Nandahama now with the lead, but 969 here with the slipstream, gaining close to Nandahama's attack range. But it's not enough as the gap slowly builds up on Nandahama's end. A little bit of some Kansei Dorifto happening with Nandahama. The gap building up as soon as the corner exit happens. Take note that the Hyundai Elantra is a front-wheel drive vehicle. So corner exits are most important. You have to keep your car as straight as possible and gain more speed at corner exit if you want to be better in maintaining a front-wheel drive Hyundai, such as the Hyundai Elantra. Now going back into the start-finish section, Nandahama playing it easy with a 0.8 second gap, 0.9 second gap. 969 here right behind. It's still anybody's game. If on the technical section on downtown Amsterdam, Nandahama makes a mistake, Nahir can just capitalize right back. Nahir with the slipstream closing in on Nandahama. Hard left right there, and Nandahama is now slowly rebuilding the gap. But 969 Nahir is already recovering all that speed loss. 969 Nahir now 0.5 seconds of a gap right behind Nandahama and is still within attack range. Nandahama made the same mistake again and unfortunately is giving the lead to RFF Nandahama. 969 here with the collision, but Nandahama learned his lesson in lap 1. Now, in lap 2, the gap is now going to be guaranteed on Nandahama's favor. That one big boost on first versus second place will state a lot for this group. Also, we're not able to leave the race until the race is over, just like to let you know guys in advance, if you want to see the results for Group 5B. But again, remind me to visit Group 5B if the races in Group 5C continue on. Oh, suddenly 969 here was able to reconnect in, but it's not enough as Nandahama secures the lead, and across the line, Nandahama takes first place. 969 here was able to recuperate his losses, but it's still not enough to steal the lead. Let's just now actually exit and see if we can still visit for round 2 as they are waiting for the results. Let me just quickly peek in on B. And Crystallize will be advancing with a 0.8 gap against SS Mina on total lap times. So PSG, Crystallize, and Expert Kohaku will be advancing from Group 5B. So congratulations to PSG, Crystallize. Good. Better luck next time, SS Crystallize. You had a good run. Had you been 0.8 seconds faster, you would have been the one to advance. But it was still good to see you fight with PSG Crystallize for the second place qualifiers. So now we're just waiting for the race start to officially begin. They are still giving an opportunity for the other two combatants to join in on Group 5C. We may not be seeing them at all moving forward. So we're just going to be waiting on... the referee to officially start this race. The ones that should have been competing alongside Nandahama and 969 Nahir would have been Tai Ini X Turbo and PSG Irfan. Unfortunately, it looks like the other two will not be participating moving forward, but they are still giving an opportunity for them to join in. But that may not be the case. So we're just going to be waiting for the results for the referee to start off. And then we will start with the sports class race. Just to let you guys know as well, they're going to be in Pool E. So expect the Honda NSX to be selected as one of the best picks for this bracket. Meanwhile, this would be a good opportunity for me to remind you guys that the Hyundai N Battle Pass is now live. Complete missions to unlock the champion car themed outfit, the Hyundai N collaboration decals, and the classic 1975 Hyundai Pony. The Hyundai Pony was Hyundai's first independently developed model and played an important role in the brand's journey onto the global stage. It offers both an engaging in-game experience and, despite its 1975 heritage, collectible value. You can also earn event prediction coins by participating in the Hyundai N-Cup Championship event, guessing who would be the ones to advance to the next heat. Use them in the exchange shop to redeem limited draw tickets, vehicle kits, diamonds, and other rewards. And I encourage all viewers to enter the game, make progress in the Battle Pass, claim rewards, and use their event prediction coins to redeem even more rewards. Racing Masters teaming up with Hyundai N for the first time to launch the regional competition Hyundai NX Racing Master Cup. The top 8 players from all 4 regions will gather in Seoul on September 19 to compete for the championship, along with substantial cash prizes and an exclusive in-game title. Tune into the Grand Finals livestream to share the Million Diamond giveaway and claim random in-game redemption codes. I would encourage you all to guess who will represent their region for the SEA in Seoul. And tune in to the Grand Final livestream to claim your rewards and cheer for the regional players. Now, after that brief announcement, looks like Irfan and Turbo will not be making it to this race. And as I say that, they have officially begun. The race would be in Sicily City between 969 Nahir and RFF Nadahama. Nadahama is currently leading by 2 points, first place earlier with Nahir in second. Nadahama will be in the Honda NSX, and as expected, 969 Nahir will also be in the Honda NSX. The Honda NSX has just been recently buffed at the start of the MF Ghost update, so expect a drastic performance increase from 780 up to 962. And the race has begun. Our camera focus will be in RFF Nandahama. It is an equal launch between Nandahama and Nahir, going to the first technical left-hander here in Sicily City. This is downtown Sicily. Everybody has a gripe with this map for some odd reason, one or another. So this is a pure skill check map, which surprisingly was a Season 0 map to begin with. Nandahama having good rhythm around the technical sections of Sicily City. But let us double check on 969 Nahir, who is just right behind. He's closely still behind Nandahama, so the gap is not as substantial, but since this is a 2-lap race, this would be no different from your usual rank races. Nandahama and Nahir going it toe-to-toe, but Nandahama seems to be having the slight upper hand. He has the high ground between the two NA NSXs. To give some brief notes on the Honda NSX, this is a 280 horsepower supercar developed by Honda alongside F1 champion Ayrton Senna back in the 1990s. And with that, it has a tremendously large price tag of $100,000 US dollars on launch, on release, which makes it the most expensive JDM car back in the early 90s. 969 Nahir now about to cross the line, but Nandahama is building the gap bigger and bigger with no room for Nahir to even recapitalize and tie. So with a 4-point deficit, 969 Nahir is behind Nandahama on points. First place once again going to RFF Nandahama with 18 points, 14 points to 969 Nahir. While waiting on the next Extreme Race bracket to begin, let us actually double check on what's going to be happening on Group 5D. We have Kezia, Rockdo16, Dryan Goth, and Kebetulan for Group 5D, which will also be the last race for tonight. But if you're sticking around still, I highly implore you to, and have not done your guest coins, do make your guest coins for Group 5D before their session begins, so that you'll be able to earn more guest coins that you can exchange during the battle pass here in the Hyundai N Cup. Now the extreme class race is about to begin here in Seoul River Journey. 969 Nahir and Nandahama would be selecting their vehicles on this complex Korean circuit. 969 Nahir and RFF Nadahama are now locking in on the Honda NSX, aka the Acura NSX, the NC chassis, which was a simultaneous release. The Acura NSX for the US market, the Honda NSX for the Asian Japanese market. Camera focus now would be on 969 Nahir, which we have seen is already currently in second place with a 4-point deficit. In order to capitalize against Nandahama, he needs to win this race and the off-road race, both in first. A good lead so far between Nandahama and Nahir. Nandahama hitting wall, or maybe has just like slowed down for the benefit of it, and is now on the lead against Nahir, who a little bit overshot the corner. The NSX NC1 is one of the newer cars to be added to the permanent gacha pool alongside the Honda Civic FK8 Type R. So not anyone is familiar with how the NC NSX performs currently. Meanwhile, 969 here is able to hold on to their lead so far, but unfortunately Nandahama overtakes and is now currently in the lead with not much of a gap. Nahir can still recapitalize this. A tie exit from both Nahir and Nandahama as they go through the alleyways, one of the short alleyways on Seoul, Korea. We have some low RPM exits there from 969 Nahir, doing good against RFF Nandahama, who was currently leading by 4 points respectively. Nahir should have good rhythm from this point entering into lap 2 and stay that way if they want to have a chance. Although we are pretty certain that it doesn't matter who goes first or second here, as both Nandahama and Nahir will be qualifying to the next race grid. And high opportunities if no one, and even if Turbo or Irfan decide to participate, it would still be too late for them to do so. So high probability we are not going to be watching the off-road race between Nahir and Nandahama, as we know that the results are guaranteed. Both Nahir and Nandahama are going to be advancing. They're just doing this for the sake of formality. But we're going to be going in on lap 2 now. RFF Nandahama has now overtaken 969 Nahir. But 969 Nahir recapitalizes on the corner entry, but on corner exit Nandahama overtakes into the, I think this is the Marriott Hotel. I could be wrong. But going through the uphill section of the city proper through the S-curves, Nahir is closing in on Nandahama. Nandahama having a bit of an outer line as 969 Nahir tries to gain close, clipping every apex that he sees. One last corner right there from 969 Nahir, and now is taking the lead back from RFF Nandahama. RFF Nandahama and Nahir honestly just taking it easy, just having a little bit of a sparring race between each other, as they're the only two who participated and they're both guaranteed to advance into the next race. No effort, no trouble, no pressure. So if ever RFF Nandahama is just giving this win to 969 Nahir, and probably as well later on the off-road race, just to be able to flex that they both tied in points as they qualified, that is a good flex, a good show of sportsmanship. But at the same time, this can also serve as their own practice session. 969 here already building a 1 second gap right ahead of RFF Nandahama. So they're about to finish their session tonight. But again, just like to let you guys know, we are skipping 5C's off-road race in favor of the first race of 5D, which is the last bracket that we will be covering for the night. There goes the race results, and we're going to be leaving right now, joining in with Group 5D. And unfortunately, even if Turbo joins in, it would still not be enough for Turbo to participate. Unfortunately, Turbo, you came in too little too late. Nandahama and Nahir would be advancing to the next heat. For us, that is our cue to literally just get out. And we're going to be going to the last group and just going to be chill with everyone, which is here on Group 5D. But honestly, I'll just wait for the race to officially begin. So yeah, unfortunately for those who voted for Irfan, you will be getting some refunds on your race. Let me just double check if the race has begun. Nope, still not yet. Leave. I don't want to join that last race. So the race has now officially begun here. Let me just exit in. So many rooms tonight. yeah, we may need to wait for their race to confirm finish. So the last group, oh sorry, I was in the wrong group. The last group that is going to be happening for tonight would be Group 5D, comprised of Saibsaki Keisia, Extraordinaries, Rokudo 16, Satwa Goth, Satwa Families, Dryan Goth, and on the last is from Sin Dream Team, Kebetulan. Yeah, no, it's still Group C. So I'll just be hanging outside here, waiting for Group 5D to officially happen. Nope, still nothing. 387-599. Can we double check and see if we can see the race for 5D? The room will be open in 10:50. So just one more minute, and we can join in, I think. So there is a chance for you to vote to guess who would be the one who will place first in 5D. So right now would be the good time for you to join in the guessing session. But right now we need to wait for this session to finish so that we'll be able to move on to Group 5D. But this will be a good opportunity as well. Okay, wait. 5D. There we go. Now, finally, for after multiple sessions of not being able to join Race 1 due to simultaneous releases of launching, let us now join in on the final group of the session within Keisia, Rokudo 16, Kebetulan, and Dryan Goth. Group 5D is now going to be starting. They're going to be in Pole A, so which is the Prime Legendaries. So the final standard race is about to begin at Amsterdam Circuit Reverse. So these are going to be Prime Legendaries and cars with passives. So Rokudo 16 will be the RX-7 Initial D Edition. Followed by, who would be picking on the next one? Another Initial D Edition with the Flame Spark body kit driven by SS Keisia. Kebetulan will be in the Ferrari 250 GTO, and Dryan Goth will also be in the RX-7. So we're seeing some deja vu here. We've been to this place before. Yesterday, one of the sessions had this. One Ferrari. No, it was an inverse. 3 Ferraris, 1 RX-7. Now it's the other way around. 1 Ferrari, 3 RX-7s. Camera focus tonight is with Sword Rokudo 16. 2, 1, and they are off. Coming here on live chat, Shibe0301 says, Rokudo's a fast player. I bet on him all my savings. Let's just hope your result is correct, because normally the first result will always speak the truth on the standings. The RX-7s are now neck and neck with each other, but Kebetulan in the Ferrari is not too far behind. Rokudo 16 with a little bit of some outside, not clipping the apex, dropping down to 3rd place. Kebetulan overtakes in the Ferrari 250 GTO, which is currently buffed for the new season. The RX-7s are currently holding 1, 2, 3 respectively. Dryan Goth overtakes it. Kebetulan with a massive overtake from 4th to 2nd with its nimble light body, able to do switchback corners with ease. Rokudo 16 struggling a bit to get back into 1st place. Dryan Goth is currently leading with Kebetulan in 2nd place. SS Keisia now dropping down to 4th. A subtle corner entry there from Rokudo 16, which is a good call play. Now able to overtake Kebetulan's 250 GTO. Rokudo 16 aiming for the 1st place lead to take it away from Dryan Goth. A little bit on the outside from Rokudo 16. Dryan Goth still holding in. Kebetulan overshoots to the outside, losing the 2nd place lead. Rokudo 16 now currently in 2nd. Dryan Goth holding strong with the RX-7. The 13B twin turbo is really doing its wonders here. As you go to the final section, you have to be extra careful not to collide with the walls there. as a lot of people tend to do so during rank races. Kebetulan using that nimble body and speed to be sure to take second place in against Rokudo. Rokudo right now is chasing with speed against Kebetulan's Ferrari 250. Kebetulan able to handle tighter corners, tighter lines with ease thanks to the Ferrari's lightweight body. It may be old, but it's still fast. Rokudo 16 now right behind Kebetulan. Diane Goth seems to be holding on the lead. Kebetulan with a wall tap, giving way for Rokudo 16 to go to second place. Diane Goth is currently still in the lead, but Rokudo 16 has now regained their second place position. Kebetulan is now in third. SS Kizia is still struggling behind in fourth place. Rokudo 16 copying Diane Goth's race line, but Kebetulan also using the same approach and is now recovering their lead from earlier. The catch-up is kicking in. Rokudo 16 needs to play it smart on the last section. A little bit of some wall tap in the start. Unfortunately, dropping down further to third place. Kebetulan now chasing after Diane Goth, who is the other and the sole RX-7 remaining in his way. Kebetulan really showing us how strong the new Ferrari 250 GTO is. Unfortunately, for thousands of us, we will not be able to touch this car. But for the few hundred who has whale on Racing Master, they'll be able to do so. But Kebetulan hits the inner wall and loses his lead slightly. Now fighting against Rokudo 16 for second place. It's going to be an aggressive in and out. Rokudo 16 unfortunately hits wall and loses all opportunity. SF Diane Goth gets first place. Kebetulan for second. Rokudo 16 on third. And the last player on fourth. And the current standings are as is. Diane Goth at 9 points. Kebetulan on 7 points. Rokudo 16 at 5 points. SS Kizia with 4 points. That concludes the first race of 4 in Group 5D. Just like a reminder for those who have just joined in on the live stream, this is the Racing Master Hyundai NCAP promotion stage Best 128. We are now on Group 5D. It's anybody's game at this point. It's still too early to call who would be the one leading. If you want to be notified when the race would start for the succeeding sessions, as tomorrow and the following weeks, don't forget to leave a subscribe here on my channel. It would most help us. It would most likely help me. I appreciate any form of support, be it on live chat, super chat, and the like. But more importantly, support your combatants showcased here during this live stream. So the next session now is at Haruna. Is this the uphill? Haruna reverse drift. This is the uphill of the first two sections of Mount Haruna. Rokudo 16 in the Maserati MC20 Cielo, Kizia in the CCX, Diane Goth and Kebetulan in the Lamborghini Murcielago LP640 Super Veloce. Camera focus right now is currently with Kebetulan. Kebetulan with an amazing comeback against Prime Legendaries, making use of that nimble, lightweight Ferrari 250 GTO. Now, the tables have turned, tipped to the other side. He's going to be in a heavyweight supercar from the 2000s. Will he be able to make another breakthrough? Or would Rokudo 16, the fan favorite currently on this live stream, would be able to make a comeback? But right now, Diane Goth in the Liberty Walk Lamborghini Murcielago now takes the lead. Rokudo 16 in the Maserati MC20 Cielo just right behind. Kizia though in the Koenigsegg CCX may be a bad pick. Right, going up into the end of the long straight as we enter deeper into Mount Haruna. Kebetulan takes the lead against Rokudo 16. Rokudo 16 making use of the passive of the MC20 Cielo with just good enough of a corner exit, but it's still not enough from the acceleration all-wheel drive of the Lamborghini Murcielagos. Going now starting into the 5 consecutive hairpin turns, which is the famed section in Mount Haruna thanks to Initial D. Diane Goth still currently in the lead. Kebetulan in second place. Kizia on third. Rokudo 16 seems to be falling behind down to fourth place. He may have collided with wall just like Kebetulan just now. Kebetulan now down to third place. Diane Goth cruising his way onto first place, making use of that heavy body but maximum all-wheel drive capacity of that Lamborghini Murcielago. Another wall tap from Kebetulan, giving way for Rokudo 16 to capitalize. Rokudo 16 now in third place, Kizia in fourth. Kebetula's just not in his groove tonight. We'll have to switch cameras over to Rokudo 16. Rokudo 16 currently in third place, consistent if I could say so, but it's not enough to overtake Kizia, who's in the Swedish Ghost, the Koenigsegg CCX. Dryan Goth with their second win of the night. Sudden comebacks. Kizia may not be in the right mindset on round 2. He may be favoring more on lightweights than heavyweights. Rokudo currently in last place with 10 points. Kizia and Kebetulan tied with 11. Dryan Goth with a 2-win streak at first place with 18 points. So let's now move on to the Extreme Class race. Second to the last race of the night. Will Rokudo 16 make his comeback on Extreme Class? Remember, everyone is in Prime Legendaries and cars with passives. The only one selectable right now would be, definitely, we're gonna see another Koenigsegg Jesko. Calling it right now. But it's a matter of seeing if everybody is officially ready. SS Kizia's avatar is right there. It's one of the elite avatars from the outfit banner. You can still roll for this if I remember correctly, but if not, you'll just have to wait for the rerun. Now we're just waiting for the race to officially begin. There may be some complications happening with any of these members, as the session has not started yet. The referee has not started the race yet. But again, just like to let you know, standings are as follows. SF Dryan Goth is leading with 18 points. Kebetulan and Kizia are tied with 11 points for second place, with Rokudo 16 in fourth place with just 10 points. And from what I am seeing here on live chat, Rokudo 16 may be the people's favorite. Hopefully the comeback is real. Comeback will happen hopefully in the next race. Now starting, it is Shanghai Panorama. 6 kilometers per lap. And we're just going to wait and see. Rokudo 16 locking into the Koenigsegg Jesko attack. Kebetulan also in the Koenigsegg Jesko attack. The strongest car currently in this pool. Dryan Goth and Kizia have yet to lock in their choices. And all of them will be in the Koenigsegg 2023 Jesko attack. This is going to be a remarkable moment. Will Dryan Goth get their third win of the night? Will Rokudo 16 make a comeback to at least hit second place and qualify for the next? Or the bigger comeback, would he be able to beat Dryan Goth in his or her own game? Our camera focus is currently with SF Dryan Goth, and the race is now about to begin. 3, 2, 1, and the race finally begins. Dryan Goth, Kizia in the lead, followed by Rokudo 16, Kebetulan on third, Dryan Goth on fourth place. As they go down to the bridge, Kizia still leading, but Dryan Goth finally fighting back instantly on first place. Kizia right behind Kebetulan. Rokudo 16 seems to be on fourth place once again. We may need to change cameras if Dryan Goth is going to be leading all throughout. And it's doing a remarkable job in handling that Jesko. Kebetulan and Kizia are fighting on third place. Rokudo 16 seems to be falling a little bit behind. Oh, with the sudden wall tap, Kebetulan falls behind. I think Rokudo 16 also collided with wall, but Kebetulan hits wall once again. A bit of some instability in Rokudo 16's end. Overestimating the speeds of the Koenigsegg Jesko throughout that section. The tricky high-speed section right there. Rokudo 16 gaining slipstream, overtakes Kizia. But that place where normally you can go all out, Rokudo 16 hesitates and full brakes. Kizia with the overtake as well. Kebetulan with a bit of a wall tap. Dryan Goth still currently in the lead. Rokudo 16 still back in fourth place. Unfortunately, clips wall again. So we'll have to change cameras here to SS Kizia, who is currently in third place, chasing after slipstream behind Kebetulan. Dryan Goth still standing strong in first place. Kebetulan has some speed loss on the exit right there. SS Kizia capitalizes to break the tie once and for all. But Kizia goes wide. Kebetulan goes much tighter, but too slow of a speed. Kezia balancing out its corner, ins and outs throughout that section as they roundabout into the bridge. Dryan Goth's gap is getting bigger and bigger. I doubt that any of these guys will be able to overtake Dryan Goth unless Dryan Goth collides with wall. But we'll just have to wait and see as they enter to lap 2. Kezia now on the attack, closing in on SF Dryan Goth. But Kebetulin is just right behind. Unfortunately though, Rokudo 16 is falling and fading fast right down on 4th place with 3 seconds of a gap, getting higher and bigger as the race progresses. Kebetulin may have collided with wall earlier and has lost momentum, now right behind SS Kezia. SS Kezia finding every opportunity to get closer to SF Dryan Goth. Finally learning, but there's a bit of some wall tap that happened there, but Kebetulin also commits wall tap as well as Rokudo 16. Dryan Goth with a perfect run, perfect race line. Kezia, not much of a penalty, but Kebetulin and Rokudo 16 are dropping like flies. Kezia now has only one chance to gain all that momentum just to chase after Dryan Goth, although it would safe to say that Kezia will be advancing over to 2nd place, but Kebetulin right behind Kezia is now in the attack, will not have Kezia have its way. Kebetulin with 0.69 seconds right behind. A little bit of a wall tap from Kezia, that would cost him, but the gap is still consistent between the two, 0.26 seconds. Kebetulin with a tighter inside lane. Kezia now in 3rd place. Kebetulin overtaking 3 seconds of a gap. Dryan Goth is unstoppable in this session. Kezia now copying what Kebetulin did on the previous lap, coming for a tighter hit, but both of them hit the wall consecutively. Kezia with a less of a collision, bigger recovery, but Kezia hits the outer wall, loses all that momentum. Kebetulin now gains 2nd place. Dryan Goth finishes, and Rokudo 16 in 4th place. It was a tight match between Kezia and Kebetulin, but Kebetulin comes out more superior and is now leading by 2 points for 2nd place. Kezia has one final chance to capitalize by winning the off-road race against Kebetulin. But the one thing that is standing in his way from a guaranteed victory is the domination of SF Dryan Goth. Now we're going to be heading into the final race of the night. Again, standings are as follows. SF Dryan Goth leading with a 3-win streak. Kebetulin in 2nd place. Kezia in 3rd place. And Sword Rokudo 16, despite the fact that he is the people's favorite here on this current live stream, is in 4th place. The final race of the night will happen at Persian Gulf Canyon Stream. Rokudo 16 locks in with the F-150 Raptor. Kezia, Kebetulin, and Dryan Goth have yet to make their selection. Kebetulin locking in on the Ford F-150 Raptor as well. SS Kezia and Dryan Goth have yet to make their final pick. I'm pretty sure that the combatants do not broadcast their cameras to their screens to the other players. SS Kezia in the F-150 Raptor, Dryan Goth in the F-150 Raptor. It is Murica, ni howdy. Let's go for the final race of the night here at Persian Gulf Canyon Stream, here in Hyundai Racing Masters Hyundai NCup Championship Group 5D. Camera focus right now is with Kebetulin. Now double checking on the live stream chat as well. Hello Adin, please do not spam on the chat or I will be forced to mute you even though we're about to conclude. Kebetulin is now currently in 2nd place. Rokudo 16 is currently in the lead. SS Kezia in 3rd place. Dryan Goth perfectly fine to be in last place as he is already securing his lead. But can he still be the unbreakable wall preventing Kebetulin and Kezia from recapitalizing? If Kezia wins this ahead of Kebetulin, we might need to see a tiebreaker happening, which will be dictated by lap times. But Rokudo 16 seems to be standing strong. SF Dryan Goth currently in 4th place. Kezia in 3rd place. Rokudo 16 with a half-second gap behind Kebetulin. Going into the river section, everyone's in the hard left section to prevent the water penalty. Rokudo 16 overtakes Kebetulin, making a better race line and is currently in the lead. Kezia and Dryan God overtaking Rokudo 16, who drops back to 4th place. The hill climb is Kebetula's best friend and is able to slowly build gap against the other F-150 Raptors. Kebetula now crossing the line into lap 2 with a 0.5 second lead. Kezia right behind him. Dryan Goth in 3rd place. Rokudo 16 falling fast in 4th place with a 1.6 second gap. It is fighting between Dryan Goth and Kezia. Dryan Goth has to make sure that Kezia does not pass so that Kebetulan will be the one to advance alongside SF Dryan Goth. But if SN Dryan Goth decides to play dirty and tie the race, then he has to make way for Kezia to win. Speaking of winning, Kebetulan is currently leading, but Dryan Goth will still be the unstoppable wall, trying his best to taunt Kebetulan from gaining 1st place in the finish of this session. With some breaks of the trees right there, Kebetulan tried to recreate his race line earlier, smooth as silk with not much of a drift angle as things should be. Kebetulan now currently in the lead. Kezia now in 2nd place. Dryan Goth dropping to 3rd. Rokudo 16 in 4th place. One last corner. Kebetulan avoiding the jump just as how he intends. Goes a bit wide. Rides the jump ramp, but that was a mistake. Kezia now suddenly, Kebetulan takes the lead, and finally the last moment and finishes with 1st place. Tying once again. But double checking on the final standings, Kebetulan 27 points. Dryan Goth at 32 points. They are guaranteed to advance. Kezia unfortunately drops down to 23 points. Rokudo 16 with 18 points. That is it for Group 5D's session. That was a tight race between Kebetulan and Kezia. Right, so that is it for the night. So before we fully conclude, let us actually do a recap of those who have advanced on their according sessions. So starting with Group 3C, the ones who are advancing would be Thanks Masboem and TBCS. For Group 3D, the one advancing would be SF Elusia and Bolgod RM. Then let's go to Group 4. Group 4A, the one advancing would be, I actually forgot how to pronounce this, Karina? And the second one is SS Marin. Group 4B, Risei 08 and PSG Prestige Irene would be advancing. Group 4C is PSG Bro Wen and Nemesis would be advancing. For Group 4D, it's Colleague RVSH and RFF Abizar advancing. Then we're gonna go to Group 5A. The one advancing is SF Suts, followed by Nov94 taking down Rad Bushido and Skyness from Prestige. From 5B, advancing is Expert Kohaku and Prestige Crystallize. For Group 5C, the only ones who were able to consistently participate, and I knew it, they tied, they were just playing along. 969 Nahir and RFF Nandahama would be advancing to the next session. They were just playing it off. And Group 5D, SF Dryan Goth and Kebetulan are advancing to the next heat. Now, let us see who are going to be the ones participating tomorrow night on Sunday. So for Group 6, we are going to be having PSG Shibe, Ko Bagas XRM, SF Hazen, and SS Seryu for Group 6A. For Group 6B, we'll have Rarta Carbit, SS Jenny, Oli Garden, and Expert Ferrano. For Group 6C, we'll have YR Srezen, FTG Fleur de Lis, RR Mian, and Sunkoy. And for Group 6D, we'll have Jackal, YR Ashbourne, HS Mewing 67, and PSG The Fate. Then we'll go to Group 7. Will be comprised of VV Sharko, RS Shiki, SS Zausi, and Ace Yus. For Group 7B, we'll have FTG Cheesy W, PSG Yuki Shiba, Arc Coco, and unfortunately, sorry, I don't speak I don't speak Chinese here. So somebody please translate to me who will be the fourth participant for 7B. For 7C, it would be FTG ACU, RSX Rosgoy, Black Miku, and Red Nova. For 7D would be Menthu, AG Ryan Cooper, VV Chance, and FTG Zan Suyu. And for Group 8, we'll have Group 8A, VNTK, SS Untamed, RRIQ, and RRMS. For Group 8B, it would be another Groot, the runner-up from the first Racing Master Tournament, the Legendary Cup. The first runner-up would be participating on Group 8B with PSG Tayo S13, Sela Perform, and Mafuyu Asahina. For Group 8C would be Fine Xmos, RWB Geiru, H2HX Defer, and another Chinese name I have failed to pronounce. And for Group 8D, the last race of the night for tomorrow night would be TBC Mod X, Walker, Yuigao, and BBR VR46. So those are the races that we will be watching out for tomorrow night, starting with Group 6, happening at 7:50 p.m. So I'll try my best to log in by 7:30 to be able to get everyone up to speed on how the races would be performing. We'll be starting with 6A at 7:50 in the evening. So please be sure to subscribe to the channel, this channel particularly. Leave a like on this live stream. Tell it to your friends. Tell your friends to subscribe to this channel. And I will see you all on the next live stream here in the Racing Map. Don't forget to participate in the Battle Pass. Buy the Battle Pass, as the Battle Pass is now live. Complete missions to unlock Champion Car Theme outfits, the End Collaboration Decal, and the Classic Hyundai Pony. You can also earn event prediction coins by participating in the event, guessing who would be the ones to get first place and advancing to the next heat. Use them in Exchange Shop to redeem limited draw tickets, vehicle kits, diamonds, and other rewards. And also remember that on September 19 is the official Grand Finals live stream, which is a cross-regional finals. Racing Master is teaming up with Hyundai and for the first time to launch the regional competition Hyundai and Racing Master Cup. The top 8 players from all 4 regions will gather in Seoul on September 19 to compete for the championship, along with substantial cash prizes and an exclusive in-game title. Tune into the online Grand Final livestream to share in the Million Diamond giveaway and claim random in-game redemption codes. I encourage you all to guess who will represent the SEA for Seoul, and tune into the Grand Final livestream to claim your rewards and cheer for your regional players. That's it for me for tonight. This is Miyogi saying see you guys in the next livestream.